Colicky Babies.
Oh, Colicky Babies.
I think that'll be our first question.
Absolutely.
Colicky Babies.
They actually say, like, the true definition of colic is like a baby that's cry like 22 out of 24 hours in a day. But I think there's like all forms of it. I think one of the primary things if you have a newborn, like Sarah over here, or how old is your little guy over there? 2.5 months. There's a period of crying, like when they're first born, and they're kind of quiet, right, in the hospital, and they don't really cry, and they're kind of shocked to be in this world, and they're dealing with all that. And then you get them home, and on day 5 or 6, they wake up and they're hungry, and your milk is coming in, and then your milk comes in, and the first couple of weeks they're okay. And then around week 4, 5, 6, 7, they start having this cry that they're not wet, they're not hungry, they don't need anything, and it's like an unknown cry. Some people, actually, the National Shaking Baby Syndrome, believe that it's like a new phase, a new awakening for them, that they're realizing they have a voice and that they can cry and they do all of this. But it is an unknown cry that all of a sudden comes and you don't know what to do with it.
And sometimes it doesn't stop.
And it doesn't stop. And some of the breastfeeding experts believe that sometimes it's because their baby's getting too much milk, and babies are being overfed because moms get anxious because they think the baby's crying, so she's hungry, so they constantly put them on the breast, and they overfeed them, and that gets them very upset and gives them a lot of sort of reflux and GI and upset stomach. And some people also, because when you feed them, you're not feeding them long enough if you're nursing them. And if you know anything about breast milk, all of the fat is at the end of your nursing. And so the beginning milk has a lot of lactose in it, has a lot of sugar in it, which they digest really quickly. And so it makes them gassy and it doesn't make them full. So if you're not getting a full breastfeeding into them, then they're not getting cells and they're not getting a
What's a full breastfeeding?
Emptying your breast.
Emptying until nothing else comes out?
A good 15 minutes feeding.
15 minutes.
I mean, some babies can empty you in 5 minutes. It depends on how efficient they are. It can depend on how efficient they are, but a 5-week, 6-week-old baby, which is really when this kind of unconsolable crying starts, it's usually a good 15 minutes. Some lactation consultants actually recommend just nursing one side. Let them finish all of it and get all that good fat milk at the end, and then 3 hours later, go to the other side. But a lot of times what happens when these babies are colicky and they're crying constantly is women put them on their breast thinking that they're hungry, and they're overfeeding them, and they're just getting that beginning milk, and they're not getting the milk with the fat in it that sort of sustains them so that they can do better. So that's one issue. Does anyone have like colicky at a certain time of the day?
I never thought of her as colicky, but she fussed all day, like all day long was upset, and then would cry for long periods as well. And I read the sleep habits book, and he puts fussing and colicky together. And so it's like, the thing is, she's supposed to stop around 3 to 4 months. She really hasn't. She's still extremely fussy, extremely intense, extremely
Very fussy after 3 to 4 months.
all day and stuff. I just wonder when it will end. I'm really exhausted, and I was really counting on 3 to 4 months, and she turns 4 months tomorrow. It's a very intense baby for her.
Is she on a good sleep schedule at night?
Actually, she wasn't until a couple of days ago. I had her sleeping at 6:30. She'd wake up at 11:30, around 3, and then around 10:30 again. So she was, and then she started fighting her swaddling to the point where it took me 2 hours to get her to bed. It was ridiculous. She was fighting every minute, so I stopped swaddling her. Now she's back to waking up every hour. Won't go to bed until later. So
Does she like to be tight? You think she likes it? Oh, she hates it. Then I would leave it. Really, actually, the Academy of Pediatrics no longer recommends. Oh, sure. Oh, please, don't worry. Don't take that one.
We're gonna go. No, it's fine. I'll take the dirty one.
My email